All right, we're back here at Comex. Good morning to you. This is Urban Pulse. My name is Fami, and we're kicking it live. We're lucky to be staying here at Comex, and we're lucky to know something called IoT. In here with me, I've got Mr. Omar Khalid from IBM, and he's specifically talking about Watson IoT. And IoT, by the way, stands for Internet of Things. Good morning, Mr. Omar.
Good morning, Fami.
Okay, so let's get into this. Watson is a very popular name around the world. I thought he played chess and beat somebody, but it's actually Jeopardy, right?
Yes.
So tell me more about Watson.
So Watson is a cognitive engine from IBM, which allows people to do their jobs better by helping them with data and with algorithms that can learn with time, that can interact with you like human beings, and then advise you and help you with your daily chores. So we are talking about cognitive cities and how Watson can help cities become smarter, manage their affairs better, and also become friendlier because they will interact like you with like humans, right?
Is there a difference between cognitive cities and smart cities?
Smarter cities, what is that? Come on, that's a very historic term.
Oh my God, I'm definitely not with the program.
You need to catch up with times,
yeah,
Fami.
Okay, please explain this.
So cognitive cities essentially is where we are infusing AI, right? Watson services and AI services into every operation of the city. The city learns and gets better with time. It gets better at interacting with you. It gets better at managing its affairs better, whether it's traffic, whether it's healthcare, whether it's security. Yeah, and it becomes truly smart because smart comes from the fact that humans can think way beyond today's problems and making things better with time. And this is Watson does that very well. It learns and it improves and gets smarter with time.
So Watson's more human than a human?
No, it helps the humans by trying to be a little bit like humans.
Yeah,
but
a little bit, my God, it's helping out big ways here. This sounds
so it can reason,
sci-fi.
It can think, it can learn, and it can interact.
Okay, give me an example. I'm getting into this cognitive city I'm getting into the borders of this cognitive city with my car. What happens then on? I'll be like, Watson, I'm getting into the city. Please set up my house, my microwave, my cooking, my bed, my air conditioning, those kind of stuff.
So you should have been in the conference because we played a video of a guy doing exactly that. So he will tell you you're in the wrong road because if you take that road, by the way, Google tells you already today, but Watson will be interacting with you. Yeah. And also it will guiding you through your day's agenda and saying, because if you do this first, you will probably be much better with your time management in the day because it looks at your agenda, looks at your calendar, looks at the traffic, right? Looks at your past history, understands what you need to do, and also will remind you that your son needs to be picked up today because your wife is not in the city.
Oh my God. The future is here. What we saw in sci-fi 20 years ago, 10 years ago, is actually happening right now.
Again, Fami, you missed the presentation.
Yes,
so we start
I did.
From
I'm sorry, Mr. Omar.
A video.
He's really schooling me here right now.
No, but I think you're having fun here. It's just
of course we're having fun together, and I'm getting informed by you. I'm the layman person who's a tech phobe and learning from you 100% that in the future, and how close is this future, by the way?
This is today.
Oh my God, that today I can actually have assistance from an AI to actually help and make my life better.
Exactly.
Are there any cities right now that have Watson?
So, for example, Dubai is one such city which has Watson. For example, one of the pilot projects we have started with Dubai is where Dubai uses Watson to advise you on your investment strategy. If you're coming into Dubai, where you should invest, how you can become better. Yeah, and that's a very interesting use case of a smart city where it's just making things like easier.
Absolutely, but you use the word smart city, not cognitive city there.
Sorry, my fault.
I got you.
But you told me to talk like that.
It'd be great. We start with smartest city and inform people on the knowledge that is now upgraded to a cognitive city.
Right.
And just in case, could you explain the term cognitive to the people?
So cognitive comes from cognition. Yeah, and cognition is what we do. And one of the reasons we are not using the term AI because we feel that cognition is better. And also AI in science fiction has been sort of turned into a monster.
There's a fear factor.
Exactly. Cognition is not. So what we're saying is these technologies are there to help you. They will make your life easy, and they're not going to destroy, like, for example, Terminator, what we think in AI.
Okay, now, you are here at Comex. Tell me your involvement in Comex and letting people know about Watson IoT.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm here. I mean, I was the first speaker. The whole idea was the city wants to transform, and that's great. We are seeing this phenomenon all over the world. Now, cities is... If you look at today's world, 70% of the world's population will be living in cities in the next 4 or 5 years. Yeah, and this is returned to the old days. If you look at the history in Greek cities and everything, there were city-states. Why? Because you cannot become economically productive if you're not living together. And so there is a movement towards cities, and that's putting a lot of pressure on the cities. Yeah, and then also cities are now behaving like private enterprises because they need to have revenues, they need to serve their constituents better, and by the way, they're competing for talent. So most of the people here, for example, are expats. I'm an expat, and then there's Dubai, there's Muscat, there is the Saudi city is coming, Qatar is coming, and globally there are about 300 plus smart cities or cognitive cities project. Smart city is the word, cognitive is our pun on it or spin on it because we are trying to make it one level higher, right? And how do you do that? Yeah, you do that by making the cities easier to live in, by becoming more friendly, because becoming more tuned towards you, by understanding you better as a citizen, making you happy. There's a happiness project in Dubai, for example. There is an AI minister in Dubai just trying to transform, because Dubai is competing for global talent, right? And this is what others are doing. That's why Muscat is also hosting the Smart Cities Conference, because they want to get the best talent, and that's how they will do that, by becoming smarter and more cognitive.
Can Watson be hacked?
So in my opinion, everything can be hacked, because man makes everything and man breaks
scary,
everything.
Yeah.
So there's a war, right? A war in the sense that you design something and you try to protect it, and somebody tries to break it, you learn and you improve it. And the most interesting thing in today's security technologies, AI or cognition, is helping protect also by learning and try to think ahead of the hackers.
Now that is a good term, trying to think ahead of the hackers.
So it is a solution to the problem also, in a way.
Okay, another question. Can Watson take my job as an RJ?
I will make a personal...
Comex getting to know about Watson, a name that I heard a long time ago beating a human being on Jeopardy. How do you do, Mr. Omar Khalid?
Very well. How about you?
Okay, so you're here for the Smart Cities Summit.
Yes.
That it should actually be called the Cognitive Cities Summit.
Absolutely. Going forward.
All right. I asked him a question in the break. I asked him about Sophia. I said, what's the difference between Sophia and Watson? And you, by the way, you guys know that Sophia is the first humanoid robot who's actually a citizen of Saudi Arabia, traveling the world, talking about the UNDPA features, and touring the world, letting people know about robots. And is that the best word for it? Robots, androids, AIs? What's a good word?
Whatever you like.
Whatever I like. Okay, so Sophia we know is a humanoid robot. What is Watson, and are they the same, or are they different, or are they related?
So Watson is cognitive engine, right? And as I've heard, and I need to confirm that, Sophia is based on Watson. So the underlying intelligence that Sophia has is based on IBM Watson, but it is, of course, much more than AI. It is a robot. It behaves like humans because of it looks like human.
Absolutely. Now, is Watson the smartest cognitive system around? I mean, you're biased. You're going to answer as an IBM, but let's ask it as a fair question.
Let me tell you, Fahmi, that the humans are the smartest people around. What Watson does, that it learns from a lot of humans and it aggregates their knowledge. So in a way, in time, it will represent many smart people like yourselves, combine knowledge, and then it will help other people codify that knowledge, right?
Okay, you mentioned early on the fear of AI. Will Watson actually be smarter than a human being in the future? Is that the aim, or it's a prediction?
So I think it's simplification of the word smart. Smartness, if you look at the way humans work or the brains work, it has many different areas. Yeah, I mean, what is smart? I mean, you have memory, you have analytical capabilities, you have common sense, you have empathy. Computers were way ahead of us in number crunching. That's when we challenged Gary Kasparov. Yeah, what we were challenged with, we struggled as computers, was empathy. We struggled in understanding human language. Why is BUT but and PUT put? I mean, or a sense of humor or underlying tones, subtleties. Even probably men are not as good as women. I mean, because women are better, right? But computer was horrible.
Yeah, women are better. Let's give that hand round. He wants bonus points.
Yes, these kind of things. So, I mean, computer is way behind now. So where computer has become better, it has become very good at understanding natural language. Yeah, it is able to understand emotions. And then we are able to discover new use cases, because if you, for example, you're going into a retail store and you get upset with something, the computer will detect that. So that is where computers have made strides. Does it have empathy? No. Does it have common sense? Probably. I don't know. Does it have, how do you say, can it differentiate between good and bad? I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, so we are in a new world where a lot of questions are being asked also in terms of if it's a self-driving car and it is about to hit a pole, it makes a decision. How is it making that decision? We don't even understand that. So what we're doing is that we are in a very brand new area of exploring the impossible. There have been concerns raised by people that if you don't use it right, it can damage us. Probably if you don't use your car, it will damage you. If you don't use a fire lighter, it will damage you. So you have to be careful. Yeah, I mean, there are people trying to use AI into weaponry. That is definitely dangerous. Yeah, but it is not a switch that you turn on and that machine goes out of control and that will be the end of humanity. Probably not. Yeah, that is not the case.
All right, so it could be a double-edged sword, just like TV was a long time ago, where you
mobile phone is today for your kids.
My God, this guy's full of analogies over here, which is actually great. Mr. Omar Khalid, it is an honor, 100%.
Thank you very much.
It was a fantastic interview.
Pleasure being
You've
here.
informed me on AIs, Watson. I'm really
My
interested
pleasure.
in the Watson of
Keep a lookout.
IoT.
And say hi to Sophia for me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping my boss gets me the interview over there, and I'm hoping Watson doesn't take my job and is able to actually come up with
you are
random.
much better than Watson.
This man is full of compliments. That's awesome. Let's get back into the music. TFM, let's talk. Here at Comex, the 28th edition, it's alive. It's still a lot of people are here coming over all day, especially with the retail center side opened up. Speaking of awesome offers, like what Comex is having over here, we got an awesome offer for Mohsen Haider Derwish, which on world-class brands like Jaguar, Land Rover, Volvo, and MG. It actually should brighten your day if you're into buying cars at a great price, because they're having discounts starting from 20% and going all the way to 33% at their Volvo Cars showroom in Adeba. So it's on from the 23rd of April, a couple of days ago, all the way to the 26th of April between 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the morning session and 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the evening session. Make sure you're there because stocks are limited, especially with these great prices. All right, let's get back to the music. TFM.